So to get started, who in here has heard of index templates, ingest pipelines, any of these in Elasticsearch? Who is having a logging use case? Like shipping logs to Elasticsearch and query them? Some of them. Okay, you're gonna be happy. Everyone else, you also get hopefully something out of it because we're gonna talk about quite basic things. So the three things I'm going to present to you today is first, data stream naming scheme. It's basically one way to organize the data in Elasticsearch. There's a whole presentation I did in the past about it, but it basically means if instead of having a filebeat dash star index, it's logs dash foo dash default. You're going to see that in the demo. The second one is the reroute processor. So today, when you ship data to Elasticsearch and you specify the index or the data stream it should go to, there is no way to change it. There is a very hacky way about doing a rewrite on the index field, but definitely not recommended. So that's the second feature that just landed in 8.8, and you're going to say, wait, 8.8 is not out yet. You're right, it's coming out. The feature is in, so all the demo I do today is not released yet. It's going to be released in a few weeks. And the last one is integration packages. So if you're in the logging observability area, like you have all your different logs, Nginx, Apache, and we basically have a big library that you just can install. We're going to parse your logs. But the thing I'm going to talk today about is build your own package, because you're going to have so many logs on your machine we have never heard of. We actually have no clue about the structure, and you have to deal with it. So we're going to touch on that. So what we're going to build in the demo is first, we're going to take my machine and just ingest all the logs on it. I definitely not recommend that as a default use case, but we do that today. For that, we're going to take filebeat. I'm going to take filebeat because the ones that are probably in here having a logging use case is going to say, wait, but the data stream naming scheme and filebeat don't match. They do. I'll show you today. And then we actually ship all the logs to logs filebeat dash default, the data stream naming scheme, introduce some routing rules, and put some of the logs into logs system default. So that is the demo we're going to do. Let's see how far we get. We're going to make heavy use of a tool. It's called Elastic Package. That's all public /elastic package. It's going to allow me to quickly spin up a cluster. I do it all on my machine. It's going to allow me to do some automation around what I'm going to show you. So that is the tool we use for the demo today. But yeah, it's publicly available, so you can do exactly the same. So let's jump in. No risk, no fun, right? So let's stop that actually. So the very first thing we're going to do is spin up a cluster. I actually had the old one running, but I want to give you a fresh one, so no cheating. Okay, this one, Elastic Package stack down. So I just made sure the old stack is down. I'm going to do again. As you see, I have to use a snapshot release. That's the build from today. I'm going to spin up Elasticsearch in Kibana, and it's going to take a few seconds. We're going to have a stack available. So now that stack should become available here in a minute. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to configure filebeat. So I'm going to open that. I prepared here a filebeat configuration file. I'll zoom in a bit. Where's the zoom? Large enough to see? Okay. So I have a simple filebeat configuration. We're going to work with that today. I configured a file stream input, which is just reading files, gave it an ID. For now, I haven't configured anything. I'm gonna do what I don't recommend you to do. The double star means var log, just give me everything in there. And to just for some sanity, I'm going to keep excluding the gzip files because I can't read them. And down here, I just set up a pattern for multi-line logs. It's not going to match all of them. We're still going to do it. So let's see. We actually have a stack here. And I'm going to spin it up. We're going to go to DevTools. We zoom in a bit. Okay, so right now, when we look at all the indices, there shouldn't be autocomplete. There are some internal indices for alerts. There are no indices. So let's get the party started. We're going to go to FileBeat. And now comes the interesting part. Yep, it's spinning up. And it's going to ship all logs of my machine here. Good. We have a FileBeat index. Should have one in a minute in here. It's actually daystream. You see it here. We can go to discover and look at create data view, FileBeat -star, FileBeat timestamp, yes. Thanks, Sue. So we actually just shipped 250,000 log files from my machine here. Let's be honest, that's pretty unusable. I can do here, let's say I can query on Warren. It's like, it doesn't even find anything. It actually didn't fully index it even. So let's start again. Let's go to DevTools. Let's make sure we delete all the data we have in first. Stop FileBeat and remove all the data we have. And also here from Elasticsearch. Oh, that's FileBeat. So by now we wiped all the data again. So let's see what we want to do is actually first we want to ship it to the right place where I want to have it. And we can do that by changing FileBeat. I'm going to ship it to index. Should we call it FileBeat? FileBeat router, doesn't matter. We're going to ship it here. So that is going to help, but the outcome is going to be the same. We have all in a single place. So as part of my demo, I actually wanted to ask you initially, you're going to pick the log file that we're going to have a look at. I paddled back from that very quickly, but because I find on my Mac machine, many log files don't have a timestamp. So I don't even have really structure. So what we're going to try to do is get the system log out. And what I could do now, I could go to Elasticsearch, load an ingest pipeline, do the rerouting process. But I want to version everything on my machine. I want to make sure you afterwards can take it and just put it in on your cluster too. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a package. And we have a tool for that. It's called Elastic Package, create package. So let's give it a name. Ideas for a name for that package where all the data lands. Smartief. We're going to keep the version, license, Apache. It's a new package. Yes. Good. Compatible x8 version. That's actually not true. I still keep it. And it's just under the basic license. And the owner, unfortunately, it seems this is made for a dark screen here. The owner is. So what this did is it actually created the directory Smartief. So let's go to Smartief. Let's do git init. I want to version it and just git add all. Oh, yeah, of course we sign it. Okay, so let's look at the ID on that package. So we created that package, Smartief, And at the moment, it's still empty. It is actually now what you saw on the previous screen integration. You saw Apache, 1Password. It's now one of these integrations I can load into the stack. So I'll test that. Elastic package install. Oh, yeah. See? So let's quickly make sure we did that. So we just installed that package. And if we go now here to the integrations page, and I didn't adjust the title, I just realized, but where, oh, still called new package. We're gonna rename it in a second. But we actually have now something on my machine where I can put in just pipeline index templates and all the things, and I can just keep publishing. It's versioned through Git. So the next thing is we're gonna need to create a data stream. For this one, we call it FileBeat. Which one is that? Oh, and it's logs. Good, done. So going back, we see here in the SmartIF package, it created a data stream directly, an Elasticsearch directory, and actually an ingest pipeline in it. It's in YAML format. Most of you probably see an ingest pipeline in JSON, but you can do YAML. So what it does right now, as soon as I send my data, and I have to make one adjustment, data set, FileBeat logs dash FileBeat dash default, this ingest pipeline is going to run. Not yet. I still have to install the package. And you see here, down here, it tells me it put all these things in place. So when I ship now data to Elasticsearch, it's going to apply that pipeline. That pipeline is not useful yet because it just adds one entry here. I'm going to do a trick. I copy paste from my backup integration to not make any mistakes. But the thing I want to do is I want to take the var log system.log file out of it and send it to system data set. So let's do that. I'll add it here. We keep adding a nice thing. Let's see if it installs. It does. So what we can do now, we actually, if we ship logs file by default, let's see what happens. So we ship all the data again, all the data from machine, just 250,000 events. Let's do it. Let's go to Elasticsearch. Let's look at Discover. We're going to need to look at logs. What did go wrong? Connection back off. Okay, I'm gonna misconfigure probably something. See, that's the risk of the demo. So let's quickly shut down the cluster again. I probably broke it along the way. So what we did now is basically saying we can ship to that FileBeat, and it's gonna look, I'm gonna zoom in here quickly. This reroute process is gonna look at the field log.file.path, and it's gonna check, is there this path inside? So when we look at my machine, this is var log. You have here all these logs, and what we're really interested in is this log file. So we check if that log file exists. Luckily, it has quite a bit of data inside. So let's go back. Now we lost my FileBeat directory. Good. And the next step after is, as soon as we took out that system log, we're going to extract the timestamp. So go to FileBeat again. Make sure we have taken out all the data. And our cluster should be running again. Shouldn't be any data in. That's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to install that SmartIF package. Good. And let's try again. Come on. Did I misconfigure? Yeah.
Warn in the search is the purpose.
Warn, where?
In the search field.
Oh. Oh. Thank you. So, thank you, Benny. You get some socks.
Plenty of those.
So you see, we have 225,000 again. So what we're gonna do is try to get that out of the way. So we can look at some documents. Most of them are in logs file by default. What I hope now is that we actually have also some in, if you look here, we can go to the DevTools and we can search for log system-star. And we're lucky, we have some data in here. So what just happened, the data went to the logs file beat, and there it checks for the path field in the document and routed it to the right data stream. But you see here, we have a timestamp, 4th of May, actually just now, good, I did something. And this one looks like very close together. If you look at all the documents, I mean, from yesterday, but you see it's not the same timestamp. So if I ingest the logs from yesterday, you have the timestamp from right now. And I think that's not what we want. So next thing we're gonna do, we stop that file beat thing again. We're happy with that package, but now we have a second destination, that's system log. So let's go through the same again. Let's the package create, let's call it system 1. Oh, package system version is good. All good. Okay, so we actually create now a second package because one, that file beat routing, like that's going to be very generic. I'm going to keep adjusting these rules to make sure it's in the right place. But for system, I probably have more system logs in the future. So I set that up. We have now here system package. I have to do git init because actually otherwise the tool refuses to work. And let's look at the code again. We're going to create a data stream. How I'm doing with time. So we create a data stream and we call it good. So we just created that system package. We're going to do the same again. Let's see if it installs. It did. Unfortunately, wrong place, system. We need to make an adjustment. We're going to go to that package, to the system package. And we're going to say the data set is just system. So what we need to do now is we have an ingest pipeline here too on that system data stream. And to speed up things, I'm going to cheat a bit and I'm going to go over to my trial system install data stream. I'll pick that ingest pipeline here, put it down here. And what I do in here is I'm actually going to do some parsing. And how did I figure out how I do that parsing? Again, ML to the rescue. I actually went here to that page. I went to my system. It said system log because grok patterns are hard to figure out. It said upload file. Okay, and it actually uploaded it and asked it, what did he use? So actually, I just let ML figure out my grok pattern. I'll adjust it slightly, also to figure out the mapping I need, and then yeah, I was lazy and just copied the 2 over here. So it didn't create a perfect rock pattern because it kind of did some messy part in here, but now I figured out which timestamp it is. I just say, give me everything else as a message, and I need to do some formatting for the timestamp field. Actually, also ML taught me that. So now that we have all that together, let's make sure we install the package again. So we have system. We're gonna wipe all data from Elasticsearch again to make sure we have nothing inside. It'll remove all the data from here. And Benny, did I remove the warn? So let's see. So we're gonna search on the system one. And if we're lucky, let's look at it. Okay, good news. The message doesn't have a timestamp anymore. And the correct timestamp is actually up here. So we have 0153, and yeah, that looks good. That's not right now. So what we right now did is basically just have a very quick workflow of getting your login, build a package with it, and now I'm like, hey, I want to share that with Benny. I'm gonna go here. There's a build directory package. I'll take that package, send it to Benny, or I push it to a GitHub repository, and Benny can just take down that package and install it. I showed you for ingest pipelines templates, but you could do exactly the same. Throw your dashboard inside, throw your visualization, throw your ML model inside. By the way, where is Philip? We need to talk about the other models. We should get these in packages too. So very easy way to share your setup, have it across multiple clusters, have it versioned. Yeah, let's go back to slides. Any questions for that one?
Can you write it in Python?
Which part?
Well, the package.
I mean, the package actually, as you see, there is not really code inside. It's all YAML. And I always say it's like the decade of YAML at the moment. So Python is not really going to help you.
I can generate YAML.
Yes, that you can do. You can generate the YAML with Python.
So this is only orchestrating some stuff which is there, right? This is what you can do. Create a package. That's what you
Yeah. So jumping back to the slides, there's not much more. If you want to look for a sample package, I put one on my GitHub repository, Rooflin integration package. I'm very creative with names. And one thing I did, I tagged it, or I think it's called topics in GitHub, is Elastic package. So if you build one and you make it public, do me a favor, add it so we can find more packages. Some links to get started as we're going to share the slides. There is Elastic package and there is Elastic integrations, which tells you a lot how all these things work. So I showed you the file, kind of the file approach when you have a file. To be fair, that's probably not the common use case you can use it. You could probably going to use it when you have syslog, where all your logs come in through a single endpoint and you want to split it up. Or if you use Firehose or any of that of these data syncs approach. Because normally what you could do is just say, I tail system log and send it to that specific index. So I showed you as it's very convenient to demo on my machine, but the use case is really syslog, Kubernetes logs, Firehose, where this becomes really powerful. The key is the routing, and that you can build packages. You can use routing without packages, no worries, you don't have to, but I put that all together. Cool, that's it. It mostly went well except the warn part. Questions?